The design brief was quite simple. It was really to house a whole lot of repatriated cultural material from the Museum of Melbourne, which would be kept on country, essentially a museum, a mini museum. The site itself, nominated by Gunditj Mirring, is the old Lake Condom mission site. That site comprises historic houses that the group were living in that were built in stone, and their remnants are still there. The hilltop it ended up on was quite logical. There used to be a house, an old house, homestead that was pulled down there. The site location, we felt, sort of picked itself and gave an overview of the creek and a distant view to the volcano. It's quite a steep dome. The prefabrication of elements became important. How do we waterproof it? So we ended up with the idea that we could make the main ribs out of that space in timber, but use steel rings, if you like, of varying concentric sizes. As you go up the curved rafter, the rings get smaller. But then we needed to think, okay, we need a waterproofing membrane here somewhere. It's going to keep the horrendous Victorian winter at bay. So we ended up with a number of layers of plywood that we could bend to make that shape. We then applied a paint-on membrane. So the timber is, of course, not waterproof. They're really what's called a rain screen, and they simply screen it a bit from the harshness of the weather. It's really thinking through that technology and how would we make that a modern version of what was an ancient form, really, that they inhabited. It's a building that rewards walking around, I think, because there's always different angles there. There's always something new and different to look at. Externally, I'm thrilled with the view as you approach it from the little driveway. The way it sits in the landscape, the use of timber works really well. So we had to take a lot of timber out of the interior for various reasons. Luckily, we could keep it mostly on the outside.
So this is Gunditj country. Significant for this area, it's the Lake Condom mission site, and that's why we build the building here, because it's traditional owners' land as well. The style of the building, it's built like a replica of a stone hut that our ancestors used to build back in the day to live in. The rocks go around the side. They usually come up a certain height, and that will be the base of the hut. Packed in with mud and clay. The sticks they have for the dome shape as a roof, as a hut, and also you have mud and clay packed onto that, so the mud and clay will become dry and become pretty hard, and it be a livable hut in. This building is going to be used for offices for the Gunditj Mirring traditional owner group, and also our keeping place for artefacts. Keeping place is designed to hold the artefacts from the Melbourne Museum, and also our cloak that our ancestors designed. In 2019, this area was listed as World Heritage Site for its cultural values of the fish traps and stone huts. They've been dated up to 6,600 years old. Yeah, it's the oldest agricultural system in the world.
The whole building's off-grid, so we don't have a power cable going back to a power supplier. We have a totally off-grid system. The lantern and the light, the way the light's expressed, felt it needed something there to signify that shape. It provides wonderful regional illumination, just noticeable and there when you want to look at it. definitely a timber building. It expresses that very confidently. It's really being able to see that in the space it occupies, in the site it occupies, and appreciate all its little nuances. They add up to quite a significant outcome.